Is everybody here? Holy cow. Let me know if you can hear me. Because I did get a new um, camera for live streaming, which it looks like it's vertical, which I have no idea. I'm not even gonna. It's been a morning. Let me just leave the keyboard in here. It's been a morning. I don't know what happened with my computer. It was giving me like the blue screen, and then it wanted me to enter this key, and I had to go track down the key, and oh, what a mess. So I'm so sorry to be so late, and everything's wackadoodle orientation, but we're just going to go with it. We're going to go with the flow and take a deep breath and have some fun. How are you guys doing this morning? I think it was so cute. You guys were just going at it, getting to know each other, talking football, doing all the fun things. That's so cool. I love it. Oh, good. You can hear me. Perfect. Happy New Year. I hope everybody's doing good. It sounds like a lot of you got snow. We got snow too. It's big blue skies out there now, so I don't know how long it'll last, but man, we had some serious black ice in our area. Lots of accidents last night, and my husband went around a traffic circle. He said too fast at 10 miles an hour and just kind of slid a little bit, but yeah, it was a not a doozy of a storm, but enough that it froze things and made it not so much fun around. So I thought I made these are a couple of my little Santorini cubes from Stones by Shelley. So I thought I would, I wanted to work on something relaxing. So I just kind of pre-colored them last night, and I'm going to do like Zentangle-y designs in these just so that I have them. Oh, you got ice only. That is no fun. That is no fun to have just the ice and no snow. No fun at all. Okay, so I'm going to start out by just going to outline these, and I am super curious to hear all about your guys' New Year's stuff, because I felt like I shared my little bucket list and that I'm not a big fan of New Year's resolutions. And I thought, oh man, I hope that didn't sound judgy, because I think it's great if somebody wants to make them. They're just not for me is all. So I'm curious what other people do. Oh my gosh, no snow in Florida. Yeah, that's true. But if you got ice in Florida, that's kind of impressive. I wouldn't have thought you'd even get that. I thought you'd be like on the beach or something, enjoying it. Let's see. Oh, I'm so frazzled from that computer thing. I'm so sorry, you guys. It just threw me for a loop. But such is life. Yeah. Okay. So Rebecca doesn't make them either. She's too much pressure. I just felt, I think the idea of it, the concept of it is good, but then maybe it gets lost in translation somehow, or maybe I think one of my tendencies when I did it is that it was a challenge to come up with something new. And I'm even seeing that when I think of it as an intention or a goal or my little bucket list, there are a lot of repeat items. So maybe it's just that the first of the year is a good time to just stop and, collect yourself and reframe things you want to do and want to be, and just kind of come back to center, sort of, and be okay with that. There's no pressure to come up with something, new and fancy or whatever. I don't know. It's tricky. And then I think our society kind of capitalizes on New Year's resolutions, right? Like the gyms and the diets and the, all of that kind of stuff. As soon as you can make a resolution to eat better, then here come the Girl Scouts. That is so true. What was I looking at the other day? I think it was the magazine you get from Costco, everyone. And they have, so the last couple of years, they've had the Thin Mint pretzel bites, and they're flipping, oh my gosh, so good. And now they're going to have these little cookie bite things that are like round, versions of the Samoas, and I'm like, nobody can bring these home. Like, nobody can bring these home. Yes, Rebecca, I'm glad you brought that up. So I saw a thing on Instagram last night, I think, it was kind of like this challenge to everyone to come up with at least one fun thing that you want to do in 2024. And I thought, hey, that's cool. Like, everybody can do that. So that would be a fun one. Come up with something fun that's maybe not goal oriented, just something you want to do. Oh my goodness, we have someone from, I'm going to guess because I cannot translate Italian, which is terrible because I'm half Italian. I probably should know something, but I think we have someone here from Rome, which is so exciting. Let's see what else. Coming up with intentions. I like that too, because then if you don't quite hit the mark, that's okay. You were just out there trying. I don't think that there's a boring with Girl Scout cookies, right? Oh, I like that. I like that. Choosing one thing. See, maybe that's my one of my challenges, because you clearly saw I had a list of, I don't even know how many things went into my bucket, but there was a lot, right? Maybe that's part of my my issue with sitting down and being like, I want to do this and that and this and that. Ugh, a little dangerous. I don't know. Oh goodness. Okay, so I couldn't find I had a what did I bring over here? I brought a Posca PC1MR, which is what I was going to do that outline with, but it's dead. And so in the spirit of a crazy morning, I just grabbed my Thule Art acrylic paint pen to do those outlines. And then I'm going to use my fine liner. This is one of the Unipin fine liners to do just the fun stuff. So let me grab a drink of water. I feel like I might be getting sick, which really stinks. Our whole family seems like they've been in and out of sick for weeks, but I'm trying to will it away. And I think what I might do is do the same Zentangle on all of these color spots, because there are certain ones that I like doing more than others. I don't know why. Maybe it's the repetitiveness of it. So these are kind of just like mini rainbows, I guess, with 3 or 4 lines, and then you just kind of rotate them around. Well, good question. Is there any way to zoom a bit closer to my rocks? If I had played with the camera more, probably. Let's see. Actually, hold on. This might be bumpy, but it's coming. Let's see. How's that? Does that help? I don't know why it's vertical. I have to figure that out. I am not quite sure what that's about, but I have to think about, a lot of you are probably watching on a phone, so it does make it hard when it's tiny like that. So, oh good. Yay, that helped. Yay, it worked. Okay. Oh gosh, you had COVID too. So we had COVID in November, the first week of November. I felt like I was getting a cold, and then I had to pick up my big son from the airport because he had gone to Kentucky for a JROTC national competition. And he sounded like he was sick, which didn't surprise me at all, because, they were sleeping in barracks and, they're teenagers. So on a trip like that, it didn't surprise me one bit that he sounded sick. But, we came home and I was like, well, I guess we should take COVID test just to be sure. And then I popped positive and he popped positive. And so I don't know if he brought back his own strain of it from Kentucky, like he had a different version of it than I did, but the whole family ended up going down with it in November, and it hit us harder than it did the first time we had it. I was very tired in that one. And then I feel like I've just been a little bit weaker of an immune system ever since, so it's possible. Poor Sammy got RSV right between Christmas and New Year's. He got RSV. So that was not fun for him. And I was hoping to avoid any sickness, but it's so hard. But yeah, I think this year's viruses are nasty. And I think in a lot of ways we're also COVIDed out, that at least myself, I kind of stopped paying attention, like what's the new variant or what's this or that. And, we're also worn out of what 2020 did to us, that it's like, we don't want to think about it anymore. But we can't quite let our guard down, because I worry about, like, sure, I can maybe function, but I don't want to get other people sick if I can help it, if you're out and about in the world or whatever. Oh, you got it from your sister. Oh my gosh. So it's the classic, little spreader events where everybody takes it back to their worlds. Oh no, Tabby, you guys are getting sick too. Oh no. Oh my gosh. That stinks that you had to be in the urgent care at Christmas time. No fun at all. Man, there's a good thing for 2024. Let's hope that it is healthier for all of us. Less illness. We have to take care of ourselves. Ooh, that is a really good question. I don't think that I have done this, but I would definitely be interested in trying that, where it's if I was doing this pink one, I would do a lighter pink on this. So it's very gentle. I think I like that idea. That might have to be an upcoming live stream then. That's true. At least you can paint rocks and do football. I didn't get to do much rock painting when I had COVID, because I was locked in the room with Sammy the first time, because he got it right after me. And then once we all had it, we all kind of came out. We weren't isolating so much anymore. Yes, I think we should try that. Let's put a pin in that. I'm going to put it on my Post-it, and we'll try a tone on tone. I'm thinking those Thule Art pastel paint pens that I have might be a good thing to use for it on a bigger piece, since they're not quite as thin as this little fine liner. But if I did bright colors and then use the pastel version of that color for the designs, that would be fun. Just such a crazy world. January is so tricky because it's very busy for me at work, and I hate that, but it's just something I have to get through every year, because we have some major federal reporting we have to do for one of the grants that I work for. And then I'm helping put in another grant that's due 6 days before the federal reporting. So it's a little bit crazy. I actually think you could do it either way, Carrie. You could do the light color. That's what I was thinking, is the light color on top of a darker color. But I think you could also go the other way around and have a lighter color underneath and then a darker color on top. I think it could go either way, and it would be pretty neat. I'm not a grant writer necessarily. I would say that's a piece of my job. I would say it's more a grant administrator. So I do a lot of the research administration for the grants that we have, and then also I'm involved in the programming of what are the grants saying we're going to do, and helping execute that. So one of the grants that I work for, the big one that has the big federal report, is a statewide grant. So I get to work with the colleges all across the state, and we get to provide programming to them. And so that's kind of cool to be able to travel, but also being able to do something that, spans greater than just the community that I live in, which is really neat. Oh, Tabby, I hope you can join. That would be so much fun. I really debated about doing that membership thing because I was terribly worried that I wouldn't be able to keep up with, whatever I need to do for it. But I think it's been very low key and cool, and I like that we have the private Facebook group where we can hang out, and it's kind of the great place for people to chat, kind of like how you guys were chatting while I was missing today. Oh yeah, contracts and programs. Yeah, it's probably very, very similar. I like it. I think the nice thing about my job is it's got enough pieces to it that you can't ever really get bored, and I work for right now 3 different grants, and one of them I think is going to be kind of sunsetting in the next year or 2, but this one that I'm helping apply for, I'm really excited about. It's these 2 women that are just absolutely amazing. It's really neat to see a couple of really motivated and capable women do some cool things, and they already are doing some of the stuff where they are working on substance abuse policy and providing research on that to improve the outcomes in our local community. And so this other grant will be centered around exactly that, but training younger researchers that come to the university, kind of giving them a leg up to do the same type of thing and become as successful. So I think it's going to be really cool. I hope it gets funded. Okay, I think I missed. Oh, okay, so Tabby says she always puts something around her hand when she's painting a plain rock because the oils from your hand sink into the rock, and it grosses me out. Yeah, it does do that. I notice it a lot on the darker river rock. I'll notice it, especially if I've been trying, because my nail lady told me that I need to put cuticle oil on every day. And now that it's winter and we're in kind of a high desert area, it's even drier. Oh my gosh, it's so dry here. It's ridiculous. And I'll put that on, and I think about it a lot before I put the videos, because I'm like, oh, I'm going to put the cuticle oil on so I don't have nasty looking fingers in the video. But then the cuticle oil, I have to be really careful, because if it's not sunk in really good into my skin, it will come off on the rocks. But I don't know if I figured out a remedy of what to keep handy to, wipe it off or wipe me off or what. I don't think I've ever done one like this with just the same little scallopy rainbow design all the way across. I've done it in pieces with different Zentangle designs, but it's kind of interesting to see it all together like this. Our kids go back to school on Tuesday this week. They get an extra Monday. It's a teacher in-service day. So I think they're going to have some adjustments going back. No more sleeping in. Boo. Although I don't think I slept in at all. Adulting is for the birds, guys. It really is. Make the drink. But I guess it'll get us all back into a routine, and our big son has his driver's test scheduled at the end of the month. We were going to schedule it sooner because he did all of his stuff, but then I was looking at the DMV requirements, and you actually have to have the permit for 6 months before you can take the test. So I had to double check when he got the permit, and he got it on July 27th. So we had to wait to schedule the test till a later date. So he's going to do it the day after. So he's, I think, the 27th, Saturday the 27th, he's taking it. So he'll have the permit for 6 months and a day. Are you having blurries, Tabitha? It might, you know what I think it is it's when I put my hand in and out, the camera is trying to focus. Is it doing like an autofocus thing? Is that what you're noticing? I wonder if I have to figure out maybe a different angle to to play with this one. When I'm filming the videos, I have all kinds of contraptions. You guys would laugh, to get different angles. And of course it's not live, and I can actually make the camera focus on one thing or another. So I will have to figure out if that's an option with this new webcam, because this is a new webcam that's supposed to be just for live streaming, or it's good for that. And it is absolutely my fault, and I take full responsibility that I didn't play with it enough to figure out all the settings. I sat down last night and made sure it plugged in and worked, which was a start. But I need to play with the settings a bit more. I think what it is it's trying to autofocus. Every time I move, it's like, what do I need to focus on? Which is problematic for you guys, I think. So I will do my research before the next one, and it won't be as technically challenged as this one. Goodness gracious. What a mess. It's been a morning. What are you going to do? 10 of you are still here with me, so, you know. If nothing else, we have good company, right? Ugh. Goodness. Oh, it's the whole screen. So yeah, maybe other people can chime in and see if you're blurry too. Maybe it could be, if it's the whole screen, like is the, okay, Rebecca can see it. Tabby, is the 2024 down in the corner, is that also blurry for you? Because that's a fixed graphic, I guess, that's not moving like the video. So I would think that should be clear to you. Maybe your Wi-Fi is. Okay, so Geraldine said it's not blurry for her either. So maybe it's a Wi-Fi issue. Sometimes if it can't keep up with the live stream, I worry about that a lot when I even do these, because Sammy likes to watch YouTube while I'm doing these. And I always think he's going to steal all the power from the computer, but the computer is in a hard line, so that helps. Okay, so we got multiple people saying it looks okay. So I'm sorry, Tabby. Sorry. I will have to figure out this camera angle thing. I think what happened, why it's vertical, is because it let me, so it's actually, I think it's supposed to be a webcam for live streaming. So like you put it on the top of your computer. And I have it rigged up. Maybe I should take a picture and send it to you guys. It's ridiculous. It's what is that tape stuff? Kinesio tape. I had a bunch of leftover of that, and it was the first thing I could go for. So I used that to rig it up to my tripod that has a connection for my cell phone for the actual videos, the normal regular videos. But I have it taped to that. And I think what happened is the way I have it focusing down is it thinks it's sideways. And in the camera settings on the computer, it lets you rotate it. And I rotated it, but then it didn't look like it came through with the streaming software. It didn't catch that part about the rotating. So it thinks it's sideways. Let's see how good it does zooming in. How's that? Pretty good. Oh, good question. How will you seal the stones I'm working on? So I will use resin. I will probably use, I'm going to be honest, it's probably going to be the UV resin. That seems to be what I've been working with the most lately, because I'm always in a time crunch. I actually noticed that my art resin has been sitting so long that it's actually starting to have a slight yellow tint to it. And there was only just a teensy little bit in the bottle. So I'm not super worried about it, losing it. But I will probably use the UV resin just because it's quicker. And that's just my go-to, because I just love the crazy shine that resin gives the rocks. And I feel like it's the best protection for them. Like if they get dropped or something like that. So that'll be what I'll do. But I do have spray sealers For a pinch, I have the art resin. I don't use a lot of, I have it because I tried it, the DuraClear, like the brush-on sealers. I know a lot of people use those. I think, Tabitha, you use those a lot, don't you? The brush-on sealers. That's not something that I use a lot, and no particular reason. I just don't. I think I'm a creature of habit, and when I find something I like and I kind of get stuck in my little rut, and I stick with it. So no particular reason. I think the only challenge I've ever seen with the brush on ones is that sometimes, I don't know how well they would do on this fine liner pen. It might smear the fine liner pen where you need to do a spray seal in between, or like the jelly roll pens, it will smear those. So you kind of have to be aware of those. Okay, so Jerry-Lynn uses Mr. Resin and a nail, probably a nail light, I'm thinking you mean by the dryer. Oh, good. You fixed your Wi-Fi. That's what it was. Darn Wi-Fi. Isn't it scary how dependent we are on technology? Like, I about lost my mind when I was like, why do I have a blue screen? This computer is not that old. What is going on? And like when the Wi-Fi goes out, or, at work, we've had that happen a couple of times. There was one time where there used to be across the parking lot from me, it's not there anymore, but it was a family medical clinic that was part of the university. And there was somebody going there, and she had a diabetic event happen in the car. And she went up over this, I don't know, it was up over the sidewalk and down into the lawn in front of our building and hit this, I guess it must have been like the electrical box, and it knocked out the power and the internet and everything to like 4 buildings. And it's like you couldn't do anything. So they sent us home because we're so dependent on that to do our work. And she was okay. I think she might have had like a brief diabetic coma or something. It was something to do with diabetes, I remember. And the ambulance came and she was conscious. And I think she was okay. It just was something that happened when she was driving, and it rendered her unable to operate the vehicle. But it just was crazy that they shut us down because we couldn't do anything because our jobs completely depend on computers and the internet. But back to the resin. Mr. Resin is what I started with the first time I dabbled into the UV resin, and I noticed that their prices have gone up a little bit. So I have tried some others just for sake of like research and affordability, and one of them, I can't remember the name of it, I did not like because it didn't cure. I tend to put mine outside to cure because I think it goes faster than the nail light. I'm so bad about like, I'll put the nail light on and then I'll go walk away and start doing something else, and then I forget, to cycle it through a couple of times. So it's easier for me to just kind of put the resin on and then throw it out in the sun and let it cure. And I feel like they get nice and hard out there. And but yeah, the one, I can't remember the name of the one I tried it was almost too affordable. That might be why it was sticky still. So I tried that one, didn't like it. And then I'm trying to think of the one I've been using lately. It's called Jade Diction, I think. And it was recommended in the group of Stones by Shelley. She uses it, and it's pretty affordable, and I like it. It comes in smaller bottles, which I noticed the first time I got Mr. Resin, I got the big bottle, and by the time I got towards the maybe 3/4 down, it was really hard to get out, and I think it almost started hardening in the bottle, even though it's a black bottle and I didn't take it out in the sunlight or anything. But I kind of like the smaller bottles because you get through them faster, although more plastic waste. I don't know. It is so hard. So I'll post a link in the description of this after we finish so that you can see this Jade Diction resin. Hi, Catherine. Welcome. Glad you could join us. I'm glad it's clear. One of the things I have on my list of to-dos of I want to do a video that's a little more researchy on the safety of resin and like masks versus respirators versus nothing, because it's a big topic and people can get really upset about it. And I also think it's just something that maybe we take for granted, that if we can buy something off Amazon, that it's safe and we can use it. And, you know, you see horror stories of people that have gotten really sick from resin. And so I kind of want to do some research and looking at the safety data sheets and how that works. I really, really like art resin for the fact that they seem to be really, really, really well documented in their non-toxic stuff. It's very documented on their website. It's very easy to find their material safety data sheets, and I really like that about them. And then on the flip side, there are people that say, yeah, you shouldn't use that without, a respirator or proper protection either. So I'm kind of curious to dig in and be like, what's different about art resin from like the epoxy resins you see people using in a garage with a big old respirator on? Like, how is it different and, supposedly safer? And just kind of the precautions, just kind of putting it out there, because obviously that's a decision. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. We have to do our own, kind of informed research and make the decision that's best for us. You personally, what you're comfortable with. But that is one of my, if I have a bucket list of videos to do this year, that's on it, is to try and do some of it. It's just going to be more labor intensive than my usual stuff because I can't just throw a camera up and paint a rock. But I think it would be useful information to have out there. People always have questions about resin. I think once you go resin, you often don't go back because it's pretty awesome. But these are fun. I like these. I like these cubes too because you can write on the sides of them. I usually will find a fun quote and write it around the side and all the way around so that whoever finds it can read that. I think that would be pretty cool. See, so there's interest about resins and toxins. So I will volunteer as tribute and try and do the research for us. I just had another thought and I lost it. Oh, another thing that I saw on Instagram over the holidays that I had never heard of. I've heard of the free little libraries, but there are, I think they're called free little art galleries, and people build the little, like the free little libraries, the little cases, kind of the little house-looking cases on a mailbox thingy. But it's a free little art library where you put art, all kinds of little art whatevers in it, and it's free to, take one, leave one type of thing. Very much like the premise behind Kindness Rocks. And I'd never heard of it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want one of those. I want to do one of those, but I don't really live on a street that has a lot of foot traffic for something like that. Nor do I know if I want to be encouraging people to show up in my yard. I'm not sure about that either. Maybe there's a place I could find that would want one, but then I need another project. Yes, it was you, Carrie. I must have missed your earlier ones or something. The Instagram algorithms are really funny, but yeah, they are so cool. And just, it's exactly the same concept as the Kindness Rocks, but it could be any kind of art, like little clay pottery thingies or just all kinds of stuff. I just thought it was such a cool concept. But I might have to put a pin in it till retirement or something, because there's never enough time in the day to do all the things I want to do. And I got a Cricut for Christmas, one of the little ones, a little Cricut Joy. And it just got here yesterday, and I'm like, what? Do I open the box? Like, what kind of rabbit hole will I go down with that? Any of you guys have Cricuts? I don't. I need to just hit the lottery so I don't have to go to like a day job anymore. Oh, you have one of the, okay, so you have one of the free little art galleries, almost called the Library by You. That's so cool. Yeah, it would be fun to do, but I just don't have time right now. I will definitely put a pin in the idea though, because I think that would be fun. Maybe my husband's gonna get roped into my retirement and he's gonna spend his retirement building me little boxes to go hide things in. Oh, you were looking at sticker machines, like to do like the vinyl stickers that go on water bottles and cars and stuff. Everything is super expensive. It is. I think maybe that's a blessing that it won't be my rocks or my primary expense of craftiness. Okay, you have a select. Oh, it's a whole nother art form to learn. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Is I need to go down a rabbit hole on YouTube and watch videos and learn, and it just looks so fun. And they were having all kinds of sales. That's kind of what put me over the edge. They were having all kinds of sales at the end of the year, so I was able to get some pretty good deals. And then when I got the actual machine, it was a bundle deal that wasn't just the machine. It came with like rolls of the vinyl and the iron-on, and I think the card stock stuff to make cards. So it was a pretty good deal, but you know, what are you going to do? So, okay, there's number 2. Let's see if we can make this thing focus. It's kind of shiny because of the light. But I've got 2 of these, and I will probably find... Hi, Karen. Oh my gosh, you know me. You are my people, because sales, I am... So funny story. Every year, it's not as good as it used to be, but every year I have so much fun going to like Target and Walmart and even the drugstores for after Christmas clearance. And I'll buy, Christmas clearance. I'm a sucker for a good clearance sale. So we always end up with more decorations for the next year, or like the gift bags or the wrapping paper, like everything's cheaper. And so this year, my daughter and I went. She's 16, almost 17. And so she has a job now, got her first job this last summer, and has continued. It's at a local daycare, so she can walk there after school. And so she has, a little bit of an income every week. And I took her in there and I was like, oh, you're going to get the bug, and sure enough, man, she was getting stuff, taking it to the scanner. And she's like, you can't bring me in here. I was like, welcome to adulthood. Target Christmas clearance. But anyways, it was fun. It's funny. I don't know what things you want to pass down to your kids, what your good things and your little hiccups, but yeah, Christmas clearance is a thing for me. I do love it. And Michael's clearance sales are very similar, like the craft stores, and they were having good sales. So I think I bought some of the vinyl for the Cricut that is Christmas themed. So I have stuff for next year. I don't know what I'll do with it yet, but I have it. So it happens. What are you going to do, right? But I'll have to carve out some time to learn that one. I know some people use it. They print out the stickers like for lettering and put it on their rocks. I don't know that I will do that unless it's something that's like a gift that won't be going outside, just because my local rock group does not allow any kind of glued on stuff, stickers, none of that stuff. And it's not that we don't know that people can get it on there where it won't come off. It's that there are a lot of people that don't seal them in a way that they, can't be removed, or start, fraying, and the birds could get to it. So we just don't allow it. So I tend to like stick to that in the rest of my life, because I think some of the local rock people follow this, and I'm probably paranoid about being called a hypocrite. Because I know I would seal them well, and I see people use the labels for the backs a lot, and I think, gosh, that would save time. Or there are different possibilities I've thought of, like, wouldn't it be fun to put a QR code on a label where somebody could scan it and then it takes you to the local rock group or to your Instagram page or something. Or I thought, oh, maybe I could get a stamp, like have a QR code stamp made, but the rocks aren't always perfectly flat like this where you could do a stamp on it. So I don't know. I have not done temporary tattoos on rocks. We have had people in our group do them. And oddly enough, those are some of the ones that don't get sealed well and you can see them start to peel off. So, but they are, I think that's a really good option. Like instead of the carbon paper, as the temporary tattoo, it kind of creates your own coloring book and then you just have to fill in if you're not, like I can't freehand art. That's why I use the carbon paper. Oh, good idea, Carrie. I could make stencils on the Cricut. Oh boy. That's a good idea. That could be fun. Use any stickers or attachments, you'd probably mess the rock up. Yeah, I write mine on the back too, because sometimes the rocks are different sizes, and if it's big, I'll write more on it, like have a great day, and I will write more. And then if it's really tiny, it's keep or rehide, and then the name of the local rock group, just to get them pointed in the right direction if need be. But yeah, so I don't know. It's just kind of a personal, I feel like I always say it's how I was raised because it's the rock group that I was raised by. So it's just kind of stuck with me not to stick stuff on there. But stencils are a good idea. I think the carbon paper or stencils are great for, like, a lot of people have said that writing is a challenge for them, like the scripty fancy stuff or fun fonts. And that's a really good way to do it. Is to do the carbon paper or the, some sort of stencil. So yeah, we'll see. I'll have to keep you guys posted on my Cricut journeys and see how it goes. But anyhow, I am going to go let you guys go. I apologize again for the technical difficulties this morning. Thank you guys so much for the patience, and I'm glad you all hung out with each other and had fun. And I will see you on the regular internet. See, I have no brain. It's Sunday morning. There's been no coffee yet. Internet waves. That's what I was looking for. I will see you guys then. It was so good seeing you guys all. I'm glad you spent your first Sunday of the new year with me. And I will see you out on the internet with more videos coming soon. Take care and keep that kindness flowing.